Alright then, welcome everyone to another episode of our mini Python projects. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to write a simple calculator code using Python that can perform basic arithmetic operations. So the editor I'm using for this video is the Atom editor, and I'm using the Windows command prompt as my console. So you can use whatever editor you want to use. You can use PyCharm, VS Code, or any editor of your choice. But here in this video, I'm going to use the Atom editor, and the console I'm going to use is the Windows command prompt. So let's dive in and code. So before we proceed, we have to define a function for the calculator code. So let's define a function first, and let's call this function calculator. And here, now let's take the user input for the operation to be performed. So let's ask the user if it's an addition or multiplication or subtraction. So let's just prompt the user for this. So let's create a new variable inside this function, and let's call this variable operation. And let's say this variable, let's say an input. So we have to prompt the user to input the operation to be performed. So let's do an input, and here we can say please enter the operation. And here in bracket, let's specify the operations he or she can enter. So let's just say perhaps the plus sign, minus sign, or multiplication, or can do division, and let's just put a column here and here a space. So we have defined this operation variable. The next thing we're going to do, let's take the user input for the two numbers. So let's say the user want to do an addition like 1 plus 1, or a subtraction like 2 minus 2. So let's take these two numbers. So let's create a new variable for this. So let's call one of the variables, say let's call it num1, and let's set this equal to, let's say, a float. So I want this to return a floating type number, and inside this float we're going to do an input. So we're going to prompt the user to input the numbers separately. So let's say please enter the first number. Please enter the first number. So let's define a second variable for the second number, and let's call this num2, and let's set equal to a float again, and inside this we're going to do an input, and again we're going to say please enter the second number. Here it is done. So we have this num1 and num2 variable which takes the user inputs for each of the numbers. Now let's perform the operation based on the user input. So let's perform this operation based on the user input, like whatever this user inputs here and here. So we're going to use the conditional statement for this. So let's do this. We say if operation. So if this operation variable here is equal to a plus sign. So if what the user input here was a plus sign, so I want to do this block of code. Now inside here we're going to do a result. We're going to declare a result variable, and we say equal to. So if the operation is equal to a plus sign, the result variable should be num1 plus num2. So let's do it again. We say elif. So let's say the user didn't put an addition sign, or maybe it's a subtraction, then it's going to run this other code. So elif operation is now equal to, let's say, a minus sign. So I want you to do this code. So let's copy this stuff here, and let's paste it here. And let's say result now is going to be equal to num1 minus num2. So let's go again and do an elif and say elif operation. So elif operation is equal to, let's say, is equal to the division sign. Let's run this other block of code and let's do a control V. And here we're gonna see result now is equal to num1 divided by num2. So let's go ahead and do another elif. So let's say elif operation is equal to the multiplication sign, that is the asterisk. So run this code and we see num1 now is result is now equal to num1 times num2. So let's just do one more and let's just say elif operation is now equal to, and let's say to the power of, so double asterisk is to the power of. So run this code and we say result now will be num1 raised to the power of num2. So this is it. So these are the conditional statements for this operation. So if operation is equal to this, run this. If it's this, run this. Else if it's this, run this. So what if the user didn't put any of these things inside of the input? So let's just give an else statement. Say this else should be if any of this input wasn't correct. We'll do an else statement and let's just say inside this else say print and we'll say invalid operation. And we can just return. So if any of these wasn't imputed, we'll give this else statement and say print invalid operation. Now this is done. Let's print the result variable. So let's come down here and say print. So this is still under this calculator function. You can see all this is still under the calculator function. So let's say print, and let's say in a string, let's just specify the result. Let's say result, and let's give a colon, and so we'll do a comma here, and now we'll call the result variable. So we say print result if all this, if the user says num1 plus num2, so it's gonna print out the results here. So this code is set now. Next thing we're gonna do, we have to invoke this function. So all this code was written under this function, so this calculator function. Now all we have to do is just invoke this function. We have to call this function in order for it to manifest. So the way we do this is just by saying calculator, that is the name of the function, and double brackets, and we'll just save this file. So it's all set, guys. Now let's go to the console and preview this. So let's run this file here and we say Python, and the name of the file is simple calculator.py, and we hit enter. It says please enter the operation. So let's do an addition sign and we'll hit enter. It says please enter the first number. So let's say 5, hit enter the second number, let's say 5, and you can see result is now 10.0. Let's return the float. So let's go again, let's do another one, and let's just say raised to the power of, and let's say 5 again, or 5 again, and gives us result is now equals to 300125.0. Let's just take one more example, guys, and let's just make this clear. Minus, and we'll say enter the first number, let's say 10, and enter -2, and it gives us 8.0. So here, guys, this is just a simple way to do a calculator that would perform basic arithmetic for us. So there are many ways to build a calculator, more complex calculator, but this is just a simple way to do this. So thank you. I hope you enjoy this video. Like and subscribe to this channel.